Welcome to Lesson 11 of Vocabulary. Our first root word is AMBI or AMPHI. These mean both sides or around. AMBI comes from Latin and AMPHI comes from Greek. Our first word is ambiguous. It's an adjective. It's doubtful or uncertain, especially from being obscure or indistinct. Unclear in meaning because of being understandable in more than one way. We had this term when you were freshmen, when we studied the lady or the tiger. So remember the story, this young man falls in love with a princess who is very all about herself, very jealous, and she's madly in love with the young man. But the father finds out, the king finds out, and sends the young man to the pits where he has to choose between two doors to determine his judgment. And he looks to the young lady to determine which door he should choose because he knows she knows the answer. Behind one door, a different girl that he would have to marry, and behind the other door is the tiger. And then the story stops. So the reader has to go through and look at all the clues through the story that indicates that she may send him to the other lady because she really loved him. But at the same time, all through the stories are these indications of her jealousy. And so that means maybe she'll send him to the tiger as she'd rather see him dead than go to somebody else. That's ambiguous. It's when there's evidence to support both sides, so you really don't know what the true answer is. The next word is ambient. It's an adjective, existing or present on all sides. The ambient lighting in the restaurant was low, but there was a bright candle at each table. So ambient surrounds all sides. Ambivalent is an adjective. It's holding opposite feelings or attitudes at the same time towards someone or something. Continually wavering between opposites or alternate courses of action. If you were going to go on a trip in the summer and you were extremely ambivalent about that trip, maybe you really want to travel, but then you hate to miss all the parties and going to the beach and all the summer activities at home. That's ambivalent. You have opposite feelings at the same time. And the last term that we're going to look at with this pair of root words is amphitheater. It's a noun. It's an oval or circular building with an open area ringed by rising tier seats, used in ancient Rome for contestants or spectacles, a large modern theater or stadium. Edison's Bowl is designed based on the model of an amphitheater. All of the big stadiums that you go to, the ice arenas, they're designed on the idea of an amphitheater. Our second root word is ep or epi, and it comes from Greek, and it means variously upon, beside, attached to, over, outer, or after. So this one has lots of meanings. Our first word is difficult to pronounce. Ephemeral. It's an adjective, and it means lasting only a day or lasting a very short time. We might say a spirit is ephemeral. We might describe the mist as ephemeral. It comes in off the ocean and then it burns away. It's ephemeral. It's there for a short period of time. Epicenter is one that we know well in California. It's a noun. It's a portion of the Earth's surface directly over the focus of an earthquake. Epitaph is a noun, and it's an inscription on a grave or a tomb in memory of one buried there. I have some examples of epitaphs on the next slide. The reason I provided the examples is because I didn't want you to mix it up with epithet, which is also a noun, but it's a word describing a phrase or occurring with or in a place of the name of a person or thing, an insulting or demanding word or phrase. An epitaph is on a gravestone. An epithet describes a person. It's a label we give to a person. Like Richard, King of England, was known by the epithet lion-hearted, which is our first meaning of epithet. If I said an exalting or demeaning word or phrase, a lot of our curse words would be epithets because they're very demeaning and insulting. Sometimes you see this word used in reference to he shouted out the epithet blankety blank blank blank, which would be insulting or demeaning. So let's look at some examples of epitaph, the inscription on the grave, and the next one. I found some unusual ones online. I had a good laugh. So consider the one on the left here. It says, "Here lies Lester Moore, 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more." And then in the upper right, "Here lies good old Fred, a great big rock fell on his head." This last one I had mixed feelings about, but I put it on the side so you can see it. It says, "Here lies George Johnson, hanged by mistake in 1882. He was right, we was wrong, but we strung him up and now he's gone." These are examples of epitaph. So this week our root word is AMBI or AMPHI and EP or EPI. And this is what we'll be studying throughout this week.